your saves are dead, and omnitanks are back. Okay, that's a little bit of an overreaction. We're gonna talk about it though, and this is... I am so conflicted with this banner. I think we need to talk about Elm first. Let's dive in, but I need to know, has Marth convinced you to summon? Are you one of the few Elm faithful that are truly excited that this unit is back? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about Elm first. All right, we have the new reinforcement, Astromythic, that gives speed, which is, I mean, really good. Watch this unit though, and notice that Rhea didn't move. Okay, so I've reinstated something, and this is the clearer version of these skill descriptions. I'm not doing iconography because that takes a long time to put together. But this is Jaws of Closure. Here's what we have. We have Sling, Null, Savior. Inflicts an Omni -5 on foes in a 3x3 area. You have DR Piercing of 50%. You have in-combat bonuses of X plus 15% of speed. You have true damage of 8 times X, which is max 4, which is max of 32. We're going to talk about that in here in a second. You have a flat DR of 6 times X, and that's max of 4, so that's 24. And then you have the transform stuff where it's attack plus 2 and movement plus 1, which is pretty standard. Then we have Nimble Beast, which is nice. I mean, that's perfect for this unit, really. And we have New Opening. All right. For New Opening, we have the easier transform. You have the transform in Aether's defense, which this is not a defense unit, so this is just wasted space. We have an in-combat bonus of an Omni plus 9. We have Null Guard. We have a flat DR of 12, and then we have an additional flat DR of 12 on specials. And then we have restores HP of 7 after combat. And we have Bestial Agility, which is great on this unit, and Preempt Screech. This is inflict speed defense -4 on foe, disable skills of all foes. That is Feud, in case you're wondering, excluding foe in combat, and grants special cooldown count -1 unit before unit's first attack. So it's Preempt Pulse along with everything else. So, all right, that's a lot of text. It's more text coming up, so just beware. We need to sum this up, and I think the best way to do this is just to jump right into the tier list. So I have this unit marked as the second best melee nuke in the game. There's probably an argument. I mean, it's really close between him and Cam. I have Cam higher because of the mobility, and I think mobility for nukes is very... That's probably the most important thing next to just true damage right now. It's true damage and then mobility. And there are a lot of mobility inhibitors right now that Cam gets around, namely all of the anti-warp things that are going around. And she's great at that. Elm is... So keep in mind this whole... I'm going to read this. We had this summary earlier, but after unit acts, if Canto triggers... After Canto, inflicts undefended on closest foes within 5 spaces of unit through their next action. Keep in mind, like, this is the perfect player phase support here, and we'll talk about the Astra tier list in just a second, but you just have to move. Like, that's all. This isn't you have to attack. And when I first read this, I thought that was it, and that was going to be... It was still really good, but you're... I can't say this enough. Like, this is absolutely demolishing all of your anima defenses. Like, this is absolutely crazy. You're turning saviors off altogether. That's really, really good. If you're just looking at Aether Raids, I think really Elm is probably the best melee nuke in the game. It's if you look at everything though, summoner duels and even arena, I'd really rather have Cam, which is crazy. I know there's a lot of saviors, but you have to be able to kill them, and usually in arena you can let them, you can let the other units outrun their support. But what do you say to that? What do you say to turning off saves? That is ridiculous. That is absolutely crazy. So, and we're gonna get to the Omni tank hype in just a second. But saviors have a purpose, and because of the crazy range that units have, they make the game less frustrating in most modes. You have units now that can traverse the entirety of the map in most settings. Subauto Duel's Grand Conquest, the bigger maps, you can't do that, but you can still get a huge chunk of it. And saviors are there to make the maps feel a little smaller. You can't do that. It makes being able to smash units just an instant away. So I don't know. I don't love this at all, but this is still a really, really good unit, and I don't think we can dispute that at all. Now, the thing is, remember, you don't even get to cleanse this with Freyr. Keep that in mind because this is a mid-turn debuff. This was a really well-designed unit, so just nuts. And the 41 true damage at max, but the 41 true damage is really nice. I do have this unit ahead of Erica. I love Erica. I've been using my Erica a ton, but she doesn't have the support capability that Elm has. As a melee nuke, as a ring, I mean, you get extra stuff from Erica. If we're just talking about who you summon for, I would rather have one Erica than one Elm. But yeah, this unit is ridiculous. As a game mechanic, I'm not a fan. And I don't know what's coming to counter this, and that worries me even more. So let's look at the Astro Mythics. I finally bumped Plumeria down. I can't take her out of tier 0. Tier 0 she's too influential to the mode that she's designed to be in. You don't build a team without Plumeria. But if you look at everything, I still think Neithogr and Elm are crazy good. You move down to tier 1 and you have this is kind of a mishmash and depends on what you need, but I love Thor, especially when that whole Johanna Lance effect that she has. You throw Pavis on there and she kills a lot of things. Excellent cleanup unit, excellent support. Same thing with Ecthenir. Love Ecthenir. I do prefer Thor, but I mean, it depends on what you need. Ecthenir is excellent at killing things, and there are a ton of people who love that unit. Hathor, people sleep on how good Treachery is right now. I know we have some null buffs, and it's the lull skills definitely hurt that, but still, this unit is really good. Sathor has come screaming back up because of Safe Defense 2. So, I mean, that's the big thing, is on turn 3, when Safe Defense 2 is going off, you can use Sathor, and she's excellent. I mean, that's the thing. Ashura, she's on an island on her own, but understand, and I meant to mention this, any of these are good units. This is, again, we talked about this. This is one of the few units that you can merge up with confidence. Your offensive mythics are still very good. I have people that still use Altina. I still use Naga. Way down at the bottom. I am just about to equip her with Barricade, and I'm going to have an absolute blast with her. She's going to be fun and stop a lot of warping shenanigans. So keep that in mind. Ashura's up next because of how hard she hits. She's really good at that. As far as that, Ratatoskr and Reagan are kind of in the same boat. They can do some really fun things. I do have Ratatoskr a little above because of the warping stoppage, but there are a lot of things that stop warping right now, so keep that in mind. As far as the rest, the Scowl from Vale is just not what it used to be, and that's. But again, you can use any of these units. She still does good. As far as Elamine, these are in no particular order, by the way. If I were to order them, Elamine might even be up in tier 3. In fact, you aren't going to see this. Just ignore that I just said that. We're going to put Elamine at the bottom of tier 3, and just pretend like you didn't hear that last part. Elamine was always in tier 3. So, Elamine still has some good, and there are some great places you can use her, and Ice Lock has made her a lot better. Really has. Does she actually make a difference in a world that you really want to be player phasing and not enemy phasing? No, and that's why I have her in the tier 3. But yeah, Altina is probably the worst Astro Mythic, to be completely honest with you. But again, you can build up a support build and have a lot of fun with her that way. She's just waiting for Vantage 4, and Dual Phase Brave is always good, but whew, I'm not a fan of this unit. I do not like the mechanic. I'm sorry, Elm fans. That is not a fun thing for me. Balder also doesn't approve, but she decided to give you this coupon anyway. So go check out the store. I hope you like my little awakening template there. This is 20% off any one item and expires in about a week and a half. I have a soft spot for Marth. How can you not? I mean, I feel like he started it all. This is neat. I am a little curious about him getting another duo with Sita. So, okay, we're coming in. Oh, we don't get to see that finish. Okay, so I tried this quick summary thing. We're going to do this again. But I got to tell you, look at this thing. Sword of Peace is a mess. Parsing through that, like, it doesn't take up a lot of space, but there are no carriage returns in there at all. So spreading that out was nuts. You have Slaying. You have a visible attack speed +5, and that goes to allies as well. You get a preempts pulse drive. You get a restores 10 HP. You get an in-combat buff of about 14. You get true damage, which is also going to be about 14. A flat DR of 14. This is going to stack. We're going to have a tally up at the very end. You get preempt pulse on this unit as well, and you get DR piercing of 50% and 10 HP of restoration after combat. That's good, but it's not enough because we have to have two preference skills. And the first is the Fire Emblem, which is something. This is, so I'm going to try to break this down again. Special damage equals 40% of speed, which is nice. This is a cooldown of 2. You get a buff to your allies of an Omni +7. That's allies within 2 spaces, and that's going to be really important here in a second. That's really good, though. And then we get the status of Fire Emblem, which nulls effectiveness for all movement types, which is not as good as it sounds right now. That's not... The boost damage that you get from that just isn't enough, but Null Panic is really important because just like all Marths, you're going to be really reliant on your visible buffs and the visible buffs of the folks around you. You have more flat DR, and then you have unpierceable DR, and then you have distant counter. It's a lot, right? It's a lot going on. We're not done yet, though. That's the special. So you're kind of seeing the way this works, though. This unit is trying to give out buffs to everyone, and the reason is coming. We have Blue Skies, which I am amazed is already on another unit. This is interesting. It's good. We just had that, though. I'm not going to read it. We have Shield of Hope up next, and Shield of Hope, so it inflicts an in-combat attack speed defense -5 on foe. It neutralizes foes' follow-up, it guarantees units follow-up, and then it has my least favorite thing on the planet, which is this conditional per bonuses. And the last Marth had this, it drives me crazy, but here we are. This is for visible buffs within the top 3 allies on the map for your team. And understand, there's no range conditions on this. You don't have to be next to the unit. You can send this unit out all on their lonesome, and they'll do things. So we have, if it's 20, potent follow-up. If it's 40, Vantage. If it's 60, null counter disrupt. And we have, I'm calling it desperation, but it's in the enemy and player phase. What you really want to be paying attention to. And let's go ahead and read the last. That's really good. We have this new hold guide thing, which we have guidance, and then it actually gives you warping as well. Then we have inflicts speed defense -4 on foes within 3 spaces of unit during combat. That is a lot of skill compression into one C skill and is very good. But we're really not talking about that. And to be completely honest, you're probably going to want to swap that out for something that gives you a little more. So I understand that that's nice, but you are really trying to cram as much combat out of this as possible. And I'm not sure speed defense -4 is the best you can get. I think there's some other things. Specifically, if you're going to be up as close as I think you're going to be to the enemy team, probably Fatal Smoke is going to be your best C skill. All in all, what you're seeing here is a total true damage at max of 44 and a flat DR of 24. Now, this unit doesn't plan to get hit, but that definitely does give them some extra bulk. The thing that you want to be looking at, though, is the way this unit is supposed to function. Like, this unit goes right up to the enemy team and just, vantages the entire crowd. The reason this is important is because right now, all of the Hardy Bearing Seals are on Saviors, because you have craziness like Lynn coming in and she can attack anything, anywhere. Now, Elm's going to be there, and it's going to be even easier to attack anything, everywhere. But in order for tanks to survive, they have got to have the Hardy Bearing Seal. It means nukes don't have this anymore. As of right now, this unit might change that, and if I'm guessing, I would say that we are about to get an attuned Hardy Bearing Seal. That is a complete guess, but it looks like something that would be on the horizon. That is a ton of true damage, and you're going to be hitting back twice. Essentially, this is the same as any sort of brave slow unit. That is what's trying to happen here. And that is incredibly strong in the current meta. And this unit is going to be crazy. They hit very, very hard. Marth and Sita are going to bring the power of marriage and just destroy everyone. That's where it is. Let's look at the tier list, and I think I've yapped enough. I've got this unit as the best Omni tank in the game.
I'm begging you.
Really, if you're talking about just Omni tank, I probably should have just moved everyone else down, but I want to get this unit into testing before I give you something crazy like that. I have always been very high on Vantage, and the thing you want to remember is you're always a Hardy Bearing Seal away from being countered. And that's a big, big thing. Right now, the reason this unit is in tier 0 is because the Hardy Bearing Seal is preoccupied somewhere else. So that is a thing you want to look at. But understand, whenever IS releases a unit like this, especially with Vantage, they are scared to death of Vantage for some reason. And so, yeah, there is the very real possibility that you get that coming up. Let's talk about the use cases of this, because we had Elm. Elm is obviously good in any sort of player phase role and is really incredible for that in any mode: Summoner Duels, Aether Raids, Arena, anything. This unit specifically is a great frontliner, and you're going to have a lot of fun with him as that. As an Omni tank, and that's a lot of Omni tanks right now kind of share that role, this unit is going to be really crazy if the opponent doesn't have a properly used Hardy Bearing Seal. Keep that in mind. But in Arena right now is a pain. Flat out. Absolute pain. Because we have all of this ridiculousness with dual saves that are coming out. The counter they have for that is Elm. And Elm you're not going to be able to use in Arena because, he's not going to score enough that you're going to merge him up and have him that way. It's just not going to happen. This unit, however, is going to be able to take out all of the little clingers on that they have. And then you're going to be able to single out the saves. And this unit is probably going to hit hard enough to be able to take them out. So just keep that in mind. Listen, 44 true damage, and you get it on 2 hits in a row. That's phenomenal. And keep in mind, when you're talking about Arena, you also get potent. So it's going to be 3 hits in a row. That's excellent. This unit is going to smash things and is probably going to be an amazing pain in the butt. The problem is, and I talk about how great this unit is going to be in Arena, the problem is the only one who's going to have them is the whales. So I said all that, and now I'm going to say this unit is probably going to make Arena very, very difficult. So we may be talking about a counters episode for how in the world to get through Arena right now, and that'll be a thing. But man, if you're a Marth lover and a Vantage lover, this is like Christmas. This is a fantastic unit, and I can't say enough good things. So, your priorities for this are red. And red. That's really what you're looking at. Okay, I've talked for way too much. Summoners, I don't like this unit, but here we are. If you're interested in more stuff, I have it linked down here. I have some, in case you've been wondering why I've been quiet, I have been cooking things, and we are almost ready to unveil them. Almost. In the meantime, though, check out my other stuff. Members, you are amazing. Take care and schedule an appointment with your FEHologist real soon.